If you check every religion in ancient society, you'll always see that female promiscuity is bad, frowned upon, and a disgrace for families. The last thing a father wants is to see his daughter twerking in a music video around a bunch of gangsters throwing money at her. Most parents out there want their daughters to land a Prince Charming and become amazing mothers. But how come that's not happening in today's world?
But there's something to be said about age and experience, life experience. A lot happens in your 20s and things level out.
Getting ran through in baggage and trauma.
There's people with
men don't want that.
Don't like
Men don't want that.
So then why aren't they wifing us early? Why are they running around town? Like, you know, if they don't want us ran through in baggage and trauma, why are they like they're waiting till, like, how are we so at 20 I should be looking for 40-year-olds that are ready to settle? I don't know how to
necessarily.
I don't know how it sounds like just a losing battle all around if you look at it as like all the responsibilities.
But
like,
it depends on if you're a wife. All wives are found, always. If you're 20 years old and you're a wife, you're going to be found, period, in the story.
Like a man being like, I'm only going to date younger women, like blah blah blah, trying to just
versus
like,
women saying I'm only going to date rich men and I'm going to do this if they
that's
pay
transactional.
Me. Yeah, but what's the difference?
He wants a young woman.
Reverse it. What's the difference? What's
paid.
the metric? What's the standard that makes one disgusting and the other one acceptable?
Because she's
just asking. It's a genuine
because she's seeking out the relationship. It's a transactional relationship. It's not a man going after a woman based on inexperience.
And he's seeking out a relationship too. And maybe he wants a woman who's younger, who's had #1 less bodies. Because let's keep it real. The older a woman gets, the more bodies she's had.
And what problem is that?
Purity is valued.
So do you think that man has to be pure as well?
Every single religion. No, because men and women are different, and men have to work really hard to get sex. Women are,
oh my god.
Modern women will never get that men don't want hoes. Women love feeling like they have the moral authority to determine what men should and should not desire, while they're allowed to ask for the whole laundry list of requirements, as if hoes were a sort of prize. In today's video, we're delving into the frustration and bitterness of promiscuous modern women who can't seem to understand men's preferences, and why increasingly more men are saying no to women of this low caliber. Stick around because I'm sure you're going to love this one. But before we go any further, let me share the comment of the day. Shout out to Megabytes. He said, I like how women mature faster than men, but also a 25-year-old woman is somehow too stupid to avoid being manipulated by men. Hey man, are you using logic? You can't be doing that around here. Jokes aside, please don't forget to reach out to us by email to claim your $5 for that comment of the day. As usual guys, I'll pick one comment from each video. It may be the funniest, the most liked, or one that touched me, so don't forget to leave a comment and you may be our next winner. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons too, as it helps a lot. And now, back to the video.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
You're about to go down to the altar, right? And you heard your girl had 4 trains ran on her in college. You still marrying her?
Probably not. I mean, that might be a deal breaker for me personally. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Like, that might be a deal breaker. Cause
probably not, or definitely not?
Definitely not. Yeah, that's a deal breaker, you know, like, I try to pride myself being as progressive as I can, but there are some antiquated ideas that I do try to stick to, and that's one of them.
Wanting a virgin or low body count woman might be antiquated, conservative, and playing the devil's advocate, but guess what? You don't really care, right? As a MGTOW, your standards, and not those of hoes, are what matter. Men have been convinced that a woman is all good, no matter what she did in the past because, well, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But the dude she banged that night and got lit with is still on her phone. What a clown world. Men's standards are still regarded as discrimination, but thankfully, some important personalities and even average Joes are speaking up instead of accepting a woman just because she's hot as hell. Men are visual creatures, that's for sure, but when it comes to marriage and having kids, men think twice before putting their dicks inside the wrong woman. If she is or was a corn star, she might get some hookups here and there, but no wonder why men don't wife her up. Is that discrimination? So be it. You and I don't care. At the end of the day, just like women do what's in their power to protect their interests and push their agendas, men should do the same. If you're interested in only loyal, clean women, that's fantastic. Whatever morality garbage and excuses modern women come up with are just unimportant to you. They don't care about your circumstances or your excuses when you were broke, fat, and or didn't have the greatest haircut. So you know there's something quite off. Something doesn't feel right. What's better than accepting all these female gaslighting and shaming tactics? Embracing your standards like never before, which I'm sure you already do. And if a chick doesn't want to follow your lead and even tries to school you on what you should do or like, she's out. She no longer qualifies. Enough is enough. Plus, dealing with objections, rejection, and argumentative people is something you just want to do at work, not at home.
Guys don't like to think about women haven't been with anybody before them. At all. Like, no one at all. They prefer to just be like, the vagina was closed before they got there, and then it opened, and now it's in process. Like, they just can't. They don't want to visualize it. It's very uncomfortable for them to do that. So the more partners you've had, the more you start to seem like an open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 7-Eleven. They're not into it. It just is. Also, if they're looking at you seriously, they're looking saying, this could be the mother of my child, gonna be pregnant. Like, it's a clash. Like promiscuity and that family, it's just a clash in their head. They don't like it.
Now that you've set the stage, let's look at some interesting data and perspectives that many men are getting to know. The red pill might taste bitter, but it's the first step toward liberation, a step I'm sure you already took a long time ago. The science and facts don't lie about promiscuous women, and if these types of chicks still want to give lessons on how insecure men are, they're free to enjoy their echo chambers, just like you're free to never put a ring on it. I found a Quora answer to the question, is it dumb to date a promiscuous woman? The answer is a hell yes, but let's look at what this guy has to say. I quote, I assume you mean a woman who is currently having sex with multiple men. Is it dumb for a man or woman to date anyone who is promiscuous? Such a person is not a long-term relationship prospect, and certainly not marriage material. Such a person will invariably have deep-seated personality deficits / be mentally unstable. There's a reason why promiscuous women are often said to have daddy issues. Generally, they will have had tumultuous relationships with their fathers and not be able to trust or deeply attach to whoever they are dating. A woman who is promiscuous is trying to not be emotionally attached to individual men. For the same reason, a mentally healthy male will not want to get into a sexual relationship with a promiscuous woman. If a child results from sex with that woman, the man cannot be sure who the father is. By nature, men do not want to care for children who are not their own. This mindset occurs in other species. A male lion who wins the affection of a female lion, a lioness, with cubs will kill the cubs she has. They're not his. He wants to perpetuate his genetics, not some other male's. Wow, such a reality check for modern women. One might ask, what's the problem if the woman is determined to not have kids and either has her tubes tied or commits to habitually take birth control pills, or have a in the event of pregnancy? Women are hardwired to nurture, care for, and be emotionally bonded to their children. In other words, they are hardwired to not have a short-circuiting that instinct interrupts strong hormonal signals to the brain. A woman who is pregnant becomes subconsciously primed to love that child. The child abruptly denies the woman her imprinted desire for the completion of the birthing process, thus leaving an emotional void and a deep sense of loss. She will be depressed. With a sexually sterile woman, the advent of pregnancy is not a concern, but jealousy will still be an issue. So will the risk of STDs. Sexually promiscuous sterile women are likewise to be avoided. Jealousy is a natural emotion. People are possessive. Your intellect might tell you that fidelity is not important, but you will think differently if you come to be more romantically involved with the person you're dating. You will not be able to bear it. In short, don't do it unless you have no intention to be faithful to any one woman. I could get into the problems of being a promiscuous male, but this entry is already long enough. Cheers.
Men understand that there's serious consequences to impregnating the wrong woman.
Absolutely.
So want to be cuckolded.
If more women understood the biology behind all these rants, the problem of female promiscuity would go away forever. You see, in the context of dating and relationships, smart men often gravitate toward women who have not engaged in multiple sexual relationships. These attributes hold particular significance for you due to your alignment with common sense, values, and aspirations in forming lasting partnerships. Having sex is great for some, but in this day and age, with the level of female promiscuity the world is going through, it's no wonder why men prefer going solo. The concept of sexual moderation, and even better, abstinence, is equally important for this audience. Smart men and MGTOW often perceive a woman's sexual modesty as a reflection of self-respect, personal boundaries, and a commitment to preserving intimacy for meaningful connections. The notion of cherishing a special and unique bond with their partner resonates strongly with them, and they may fear that multiple sexual encounters might hinder the ability to fully devote oneself to a singular emotional connection. Modern women are convinced that they can do what men do better, so they believe that men and women are equal and all these types of things. However, once they go through the whole blocks, dicks, and the carousel, all they've got is emotional damage, maybe a few baby daddies, and trauma she doesn't want to heal. The blame is always on the men, of course. In addition to emotional connection, smart men want fidelity and loyalty in relationships. Men who hold these values are likely to seek partners who share similar beliefs and have demonstrated a commitment to monogamy. A woman who has not engaged in numerous sexual encounters may be seen as someone who values long-term commitment and emotional security, which aligns with the red pill worldview. As a man, you'd probably be happy to prioritize forming relationships with partners who share similar values and priorities, not a party girl who lets random dudes hit for free while making a husband material type of man wait. While preferences vary among individuals, emotional awareness and sexual moderation are qualities that resonate deeply with 99.9% of smart men in their pursuit of meaningful and lasting connections. Emotional awareness and sexual moderation are highly appealing qualities for smart men seeking romantic relationships. Is it too much to ask? For real? These attributes align with their values of open communication, commitment, and loyalty. Men don't want mind games, cheating, and infidelity. Sadly, most women out there will let multiple men bang them and still wonder why, at 30 plus years, are all alone and without the slightest sign of a ring.
Would I date an OnlyFans girl? I'm a conservative Muslim. We don't even date, period. If I wanted to marry you today, I would go to your father and I'd approach your father. What's your dad's name?
Dan.
Dan. I'd say, Dan, I've taken interest in your daughter. I think she's a lovely girl, but I wanted to approach you first. This is the respectful manner. I approach your father, Dan. And your father, he would take that responsibility of vetting me out. He would take his due diligences upon me. And then after that, once Dan has gotten to know me and has accustomed himself with me, and me and you have sat down a couple of times, maybe we go for coffee, the family don't always have to be around. After that process, it's very swift and quick. At that moment, you and your father, Dan, will decide. You say to your dad, look, I like him or I don't like him. And then after that, your dad will be like, okay, we're going to make this happen or we don't make this happen. And in this way, I don't mess around with Dan's daughter. Dan's daughter is able to maintain one of her most valuable assets, which is her chastity.
Purity is appealing to guys, meaning, again, that you didn't hop in and out of bed with everybody. Innocence also means that you haven't been jaded by the world. It's a beautiful thing. It means that you haven't been through a bunch of relationships that left you feeling dark. It means that you don't have a lot of that baggage that you pull from a bad relationship back into the next one. It means that you've had less hurt, less pain, less crying, less stress navigating the ups and downs of life because you're younger and you just haven't been through that stuff yet. And a good guy, a really good guy, will want to spare you some of that stuff. He'll want to come into your life and create something for you, stability and financial and otherwise, and he'll want to protect you and he'll want to provide for you, so you don't have to go through a lot of the stuff that some modern women do go through in those 20s. That's awful and painful and horrible. So they're trying to get you before all of that. What is bad about that? That seems like a perfectly reasonable human instinct, male instinct.
Men want purity, period. When they know a girl has been out there with a bunch of guys, they're turned off immediately. This is another sign of how many double standards men gotta face. What do you have to do as a man to get a woman? Making money? Being jacked? Charismatic? Strong? Ambitious? 6 foot tall? Having 6 inches of dick? What else? A whole list of requirements. Oh, and let's not forget about being good and bad, because otherwise, a woman is free to ghost you and even mock you in front of her female friends. The tiniest mistake is an excuse for women to dump a guy and or not give him a chance at all. What does a woman have to do to get men? Well, being hot. Yeah, pretty much. Most men out there will be happy to bang her, especially if she's hot. Doesn't matter how bad her personality is. Doesn't matter how many men she slept with. Many men will sleep with her, but once they all see all her baggage and how many men she's got in the rotation or waiting list, they'll say, nah, I'm out. Men want purity because it comes with higher chances of a successful marriage than dating a hoe or former hoe who will not be loyal to you. Modern women might say that an inexperienced woman is boring, she will not give good head, the man's not gonna have fun, etc. But guess what happens when they want to destroy a woman themselves? The first insult is, you guessed it, she's a slut, she's a hoe, she's a bitch, and the like.
2 scenarios. We're gonna start with women first. Let's say you see a girl that you don't like at the party. You hate that. You can call her one of 3 insults to embarrass her at this party. Either A, dirty, B, broke bum, or C, stupid and uneducated.
I'll do number 3. I'm calling her broke, uneducated. I would call her an ugly, dirty, dirty, broke bum, dirty, you future, and you have no future. I would call her a broke bum.
All right, we're gonna switch it up now, ladies. Now, it's a guy. What are you going to call him to embarrass him in front of everybody?
I would still call him a bum. He a broke bum. Brokey. Broke. He's a bum. Yeah, he's a bum. Stupid and uneducated. I would call him a broke bum. Broke bum. Call them both, but lead with broke. Broke bum. You broke, he broke. Stupid and uneducated.
Very interesting. In the female scenario, most of you said you would call her a dirty to garner the most embarrassment. And then for the male scenario, basically all of you said broke bum.
Even women know for a fact that the worst insult they can get is whore and all related names. Nature is nature, and just like men know that they gotta tick a whole list of boxes to be the king of the tribe, women know that being a hoe is not acceptable to qualify for a top-tier man who will provide and protect. They'll have to settle for simps who will accept them as they are, but the rich guys, and any man of resources for that matter, will 99.9% of the time prefer a woman who has not been riding the carousel.
Why men want pure women. Guys, simply put, we as men want to grow with our life partner. We do not want a woman who has a bunch of old baggage, whether that be through her old job, maybe parents, society, old boyfriends, etc., etc. This is all garbage just being placed that now affects us men negatively. By finding a woman who is pure, she's held on to this innocence and freshness. We as men can then best help her, guide her, move with her, and grow together. Yes, her helping us and us helping her. So please, as women, do not think that racking up your body count is an encouraged thing. No, that is the worst thing you can possibly do for yourself or your future high-value man.
I came across an article, a study by Cornell University further explains these realities. Check it out. Study: women reject promiscuous female peers as friends. Are women being territorial now? What a surprise. Jokes aside, let's see what they got. College-aged women judge promiscuous female peers, defined as bedding 20 sexual partners by their early 20s, more negatively than more chaste women, and view them as unsuitable for friendship, finds a study by Cornell developmental psychologists. Participants' preference for less sexually active women as friends remained even when they personally reported liberal attitudes about casual sex or a high number of lifetime lovers. Men's views, on the other hand, are less uniform, favoring the sexual permissive potential friend, the non-permissive one, or showing no preference for either when asked to rate them on 10 different friendship attributes. Promiscuous men favored less sexually experienced men. However, if they viewed other promiscuous men as potentially interested in stealing their girlfriends. The findings suggest that women still face a double standard that shames slutty women and celebrates studly men, said lead author Zana Vrangalova, a graduate student in the field of human development in the College of Human Ecology. The study, Birds of a Feather, Not When It Comes to Sexual Permissiveness, published online May 19 in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, reports that promiscuous women, therefore, are at a greater risk for social isolation and poor psychological and physical health. Sexually permissive women are ostracized for being easy, whereas men with a high number of sexual partners are viewed with a sense of accomplishment, Vrangelova said. What surprised us in this study is how unaccepting promiscuous women were of other promiscuous women when it comes to friendships. These are the very people one would think they could turn to for support. As you can see, according to the findings, women tend to view women who have had a significant number of sexual partners negatively and are less likely to consider them as suitable friends. This preference for less sexually active women as friends remains consistent even among women who personally hold liberal attitudes about casual sex or have a high number of lifetime lovers. These results highlight the existence of a double standard that continues to shame women perceived as slutty while celebrating men considered studly, and rightfully so because men have a polygamous nature. Promiscuous women are often ostracized for being easy, whereas men with a high number of sexual partners may be viewed with admiration for their perceived accomplishments. The study's conclusions indicate that promiscuous women face a higher risk of social isolation and may experience negative impacts on their psychological and physical health due to societal judgment and lack of support. Like, wow, as if the manosphere didn't say these things enough times. Despite assuming that promiscuous women might be more understanding and supportive of each other, the study's findings show the opposite. They tend to be less accepting of one another as potential friends.
Top thing that men value above all things is purity. We do not want to imagine the woman we love taking a shot on the face or getting dominated by any other dude, you know, being a part of a or whatever goes on those sororities. We don't want to deal with that.
But
it's not our ideal.
You would do it to other women. That's what is contradicting.
You guys make that happen.
So the average guy, which you girls most likely ignore, doesn't do that.
Ignore?
So, but then guess what? Who gets the coverage is the top G's that can get anything. So most guys want to be like that playboy.
You have to understand, they're adapting to the market. Most guys are young and they start really sweet. And what they're doing is they're looking for a young wife that wants to get married. They're trying to treat her well. And they find out that when they treat girls well, they don't get laid.
Stay strong, guys. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you will get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video, guys. Till next time.